The gym was its usual chaotic self, filled with echoing clanks of metal, the rhythmic thud of punching bags, and the occasional burst of laughter from the usual crowd that had claimed the space like it was their territory. Everyone knew Marcus. He wasn't just one of the biggest guys in the gym, he was also the loudest, cocky, charismatic, in the most obnoxious way, and always hunting for attention. Marcus believed strength wasn't real unless it was shown off. His shirt sleeves were always too tight, his ego even tighter. He had a routine bench press, flex in the mirror, mock someone. Today was no different. Except today, he had his eyes set on someone new. In the corner, as always, sat Ava. She had been coming to the gym for a few weeks now, and people barely noticed her. She never made a scene, never spoke unless someone greeted her first, and always wore the same thing. Black hoodie, dark tights, tied-back hair, and the kind of stillness that made people overlook her entirely. While the rest grunted and roared and took selfies, she simply trained, focused, precise, invisible. But Marcus wasn't the type to leave anything unknown, and silence irritated him. "Hey, ninja girl," he shouted, his voice booming. Through the space, several heads turned. A few chuckled. Ava, mid-stretch, didn't even flinch. "You ever gonna do more than sit and breathe over there?" Marcus continued, smirking. His friends leaned in, grinning, waiting for the roast to unfold. Ava didn't respond. She calmly tied her laces and stood up. Her eyes met his for a moment, not in aggression, not in fear, just a quiet, unshakable calm that only irritated Marcus more. He strutted over like a man ready to put on a show. "Come on, sweetheart," he sneered. "Show us a punch. Or two, or are you just here for the vibes?" More laughter. Phones came out. This was Marcus in his element. Attention on him, an audience expecting another viral gym moment. But Ava, she simply walked past him, stepped onto the open mat in the center, and turned to face him. No words, just an open stance. A challenge. The room started to shift. People paused mid-set. The music in the background seemed to grow quieter. Or maybe that was just how focused everyone became. Marcus blinked, thrown off for a split second by her composure. "Oh, you want to go? You sure about that?" he asked, circling her like a lion. "All right then, let's see what you got." He threw a mock jab in the air, bouncing like a boxer. Ava didn't move. She waited, silent, still deadly calm. It was unnerving. A few more people gathered near the mats. Someone whispered, "Who is she?" Another shrugged. "No idea. She's here every day, though." Marcus lunged forward, not to hurt, just to fake a move and scare her. But the moment his foot moved, Ava exploded into motion. It happened so fast, half the people missed it. In one seamless move, she sidestepped, ducked low, hooked her leg behind his, and with a precise pivot of her hip, swept him completely off his feet. Before anyone could gasp, Marcus was flat on the mat, and Ava was standing over him, one knee on his chest. Her hand near his throat, not choking him, just showing she could. The room froze. Dead silence. No one laughed. No one moved even. Marcus stared up at her, completely stunned. Wind knocked out of him, physically and emotionally. Cameras stopped recording. Mouths hung open. It wasn't just that she won, it was how fast, how clean, how shockingly dominant it was. Ava stood, offered a hand. Marcus took it. She pulled him up without a word and walked off the mat. No smirk, no gloating, just silence. Real silence, the kind that roared louder than any victory scream. She returned to her corner, picked up her water bottle, and continued her workout as if nothing happened. But everything had changed. Marcus didn't say another word for the rest of his session. He trained like a ghost, eyes low, face red. His friends avoided eye contact. The rest of the gym watched Ava in awe, quiet awe. And for the first time since anyone could remember, the loudest guy in the gym had absolutely nothing to say. Ava never needed to speak. Her strength did the talking. And the entire gym, it listened. The moment the video hit social media, it spread like wildfire. A few people at the gym had caught the incident on their phones from different angles. Some in slow motion, others capturing the raw audio of the crowd falling into stunned silence. The title wrote itself. Quiet girl destroys gym bro with one move. Within hours, it was everywhere. Instagram Reels, TikToks, reaction channels on YouTube, even Twitter threads analyzing her form. Some thought it was staged, others claimed she must have been a pro, but the one thing everyone agreed on was that Marcus got humbled, and she became a mystery people were desperate to solve. At first, Ava didn't even realize it had gone viral. She wasn't the type to scroll endlessly. Through social media, she came to the gym, trained with razor-sharp discipline, but by the second day, whispers followed her everywhere. People stared longer. Some offered shy smiles. A few asked, "Hey, are you the girl from the video?" She nodded politely and went back to her sets. She didn't crave the attention, didn't revel in the fame. She was there for a reason far deeper than a viral clip. On the third day, Marcus didn't show up. Some assumed he was hiding. Others joked he might have joined a library. But Ava noticed something else. The gym. It was quieter. Not physically, but emotionally. The tension, the undercurrent of competition, the judgment, it had lessened. Maybe people were thinking twice before mocking the quiet ones. Maybe they were starting to understand that not all strength is loud. A week later, Marcus returned. No entourage, no ego. He walked in wearing a plain black shirt, no flashy logos, no arrogant grin. He headed straight for the treadmill, something he usually mocked others for using, and kept his head down. People noticed. Ava did too, but she said nothing. That evening, while she was practicing footwork on the mats, Marcus walked over. No camera, no crowd, just him. "Hey," he said, voice low. "Can I talk to you?" She stopped and turned. Nodding once, "I deserved what happened," he said. "I was a jerk. I let my mouth run way ahead of my brain. You didn't deserve that." Ava didn't respond. She just waited. "I've been thinking," he continued, rubbing the back of his neck. "I act like I know everything about fighting, but clearly I don't. That move, that was real skill, real training. I didn't even see it coming." Still, Ava remained silent, not dismissively, just listening. That made Marcus more nervous than any mat takedown ever could. "I want to be better," he said finally. "I mean it. I don't just mean stronger. I mean better as a person. You think, maybe, you could train me?" Ava studied him for a moment. There was no sarcasm in his tone, no challenge in his eyes. Just sincerity, raw and awkward. Then, finally, she spoke. Just 2 words. "Be here." Marcus blinked. "What?" "Tomorrow, 6 a.m., she said. "Be here." And she turned back to her practice. The next morning, at exactly 5:58 a.m., Marcus walked into the gym, sleep still, in his eyes, and found Ava already there, shadowboxing silently under the dim lights. For the first time in his life, he didn't speak. He joined her. She didn't explain anything, just demonstrated, then waited. If he followed correctly, she nodded. If he messed up, she'd show it again. No yelling, no praise, just discipline. For the next few weeks, the gym watched something nobody expected, the loudest man being trained by the quietest woman. And slowly, things changed. Marcus stopped flexing in mirrors. He started helping others with their form. He listened more. He trained harder, but with humility. The crowd that once laughed with him now respected him. But even more so, they admired her. They began asking Ava for tips. She'd correct a wrist here, adjust a foot position there. Still mostly silent, but her presence spoke volumes. Some started calling her sensei. Others just nodded when she passed. But Ava never let it get to her. She wasn't doing this for fame. What few knew, what nobody had bothered to ask before, was that Ava used to be a competitive martial artist. One of the best in her division. Titles, trophies, travel, she had it all. Until one night, a drunk driver took her brother's life. He had been her biggest supporter, her corner coach, her best friend. After that, she disappeared from the scene. The grief silenced her. The world overwhelmed her, and for a long time, she didn't step into a gym at all. When she finally returned, it wasn't to win again, it was to remember who she was, and maybe to find peace. The day she met Marcus, she hadn't planned on fighting. But maybe the universe had. Maybe that moment was meant to shake the very room that had once been deaf to the quiet. Months passed, Marcus improved. He competed in an amateur match and won his opponent, another gym loudmouth, who had underestimated him. He used the same sweep Ava had used on him afterwards. He raised her hand from the crowd and told everyone, "This is my coach, and the real reason I'm standing here today." Ava shook her head, smiling slightly, and stepped back into the shadows. Because her goal was never glory. It was growth. And in helping someone else change, she had changed too. The gym was different now, more inclusive, more respectful. And though people still joked and trained hard, there was a new kind of energy, one grounded in respect. And every time someone new walked in and saw that quiet woman in the corner, they didn't laugh. They watched, they wondered, and they listened. Because the legend of the silent woman who made the whole gym freeze wasn't just a viral video. Anymore, it was a reminder that power isn't always loud, that real strength doesn't need to prove itself, and that sometimes the quietest presence can echo the loudest truth.